you mentioned during this interview a couple of books. You're an avid reader of books. I've been always an avid reader of news articles and, that world. It was only after I met you that I started getting into business books. And so real quickly, top 3 business books any aspiring entrepreneur, solopreneur should know of.
Great question. So these are all going to be business and mindset style books, because I don't think you can have a solid business if your mindset is not in place. I just don't think the two,
Agreed.
one cannot exist without the other. So I've reread the book, The Go-Giver, about 3 or 4 times. It's got timeless principles about how to give more in value than you take in cash value, the rule of always being authentic, the rule of compensation, just really good timeless value pieces that you can take into every negotiation, you can take into every business conversation. So The Go-Giver is definitely in the top. There's another book called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. I'm a big fan of books that were created in the 30s and the 40s, because I think that's where personal development really originated, was in the 20s and 30s and 40s, back in the Napoleon Hill, Andrew Carnegie days. And I think everything produced today on motivation is really taking inspiration from that generation. So The Science of Getting Rich is amazing. And there's this really good book that not a lot of people talk about, but it's called The Road Less Stupid. And it's by a guy named Keith Cunningham. And he talks about, how do you avoid paying the dumb tax in life? How do you avoid paying the tax that you don't know you're going to have to pay one day? So he says, he's got this one line in the book, is you can make a decision today, but based on that decision, you can't predict the future repercussions of that decision. It just really makes you think. But the idea in the book is that every week or every couple of weeks, give yourself this window of what he calls thinking time. Spend 45 to 60 minutes, go into that session with just your pen or pencil and your notebook. Go into the session asking yourself 3 to 4 questions, because every answer that we ever need in life is not really in the books. It's not really in the courses. It really is within us. So for me, this thinking time practice, I need to get back into it. I've done it a couple times where I've just blocked out 60 minutes of my calendar just to think. And you'd be surprised, man, this 60 minutes feels like hours. You walk away every time with pages full of notes on inspiration, on motivation. So those would be 3 books that come top of mind to me right now.
I've never read that book, but I'm an avid practicer of getting my thinking time. Yeah, I do it. They do it once a month. Yeah. I mean, at least once a month. So sometimes.
And man, there's so many other books. I'm reading right now, The Psychology of Money, amazing book. There's a book called Who Not How by Dan Sullivan, which is all about who can do the thing, because you shouldn't be doing all of it. There's a book called The Happiness Equation that I read a long time ago. That's, again, just timeless principles about life. Yeah, man, I'm a huge book guy.
Yeah, no, listen, that's why I asked that question, because I think a lot of people will get value from knowing which ones would help them in their journey. So I'm going to leave you with this. What parting advice will you give to any aspiring solopreneur out there, or even an experienced solopreneur out there?
Double down on what your inside is telling you. Double down on your intuition, double down on your own thinking, double down on your own vision that you have, because it's very easy to make progress on a vision and then be like, oh, look, shiny object, new project, new contract, new something. I think about the last 2 years that I've been in business. Had I known what I know now about what I'm building, and sure, sometimes you need to go through life and the experience to figure out what is that you're truly building. But now that I'm so clear on this is my niche, this is my family, this is what I'm building, I've never had more motivation and more energy and more passion. I've never had such clarity on the direction of my business than I do now. And really it comes down to this idea of, what are you building and who's it for?
Beautiful. Beautifully said. Karan, I really, really appreciate you being here, imparting your wisdom on all of us with everything that results with solopreneurship and creating impact. So thank you for being a guest on the Business 360 podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. And thanks for creating the space for people to learn about not just, what we read in books, but practical takeaways as well. So thank you.